Relation Nation. It's a celebration. Missy! You wanna say hi? Oh, let's say hi to Missy first. Oh, it's the Queen of the Meridian. Missers. It's my dog. I know she's a feline, but that's my dog. Even though I actually have a dog, but that's my dog. Alright, so let's get back to the real. Relation Nation, it's a celebration. I like catching you guys early, man. It's like I get to remind you that you can avoid some mistakes that you're about to walk into, you know? Reason being, whoo, I caught a lot of you guys Saturday, and I hope I made you think about what was going on, what you were doing, and why you were finna do it. And I think the most important thing to take away from a personal transformation that begins in the mind is sometimes we like to find an excuse. Sometimes we want to buy Atomic Habits, maybe not even read it, and wait a couple weeks and then go to work and act different and finally act the way we wanted to, right? Or we'll read Monster or something. And it kind of gives you this escape of not having to give people an excuse on why you've changed for yourself. They're like, hey man, he read this that aligns with the material of the book that he bought or the course that he took or the religion that he's following, so I'm not going to judge him. And as cool as that may be, you're ultimately still scared of what other people think. Sure, you kind of like 3D, 4D chest people by being like, oh, I'm gonna act more confident because I'm gonna pick up a book from like an aggressive finance guy, and faith and confidence are some things that go into success, so that's gonna allow me to back people off into acting confident in the workplace, or finally stepping up as a team leader and asserting myself and helping other people and just kind of dominating my field of work or study or whatever it is you're doing. But at the end of the day, you're still going to be limited by caring about what others think. And one of the coolest parts about the weekend is you get to spend 48 hours away from everyone that makes you alter your identity. Meaning, you can start practicing the individual you actually want to behave like in the weekend. But like I said on my previous video on last Saturday, you're about to go be someone you're not. And Friday is the best time to start actually taking care of yourself and removing the limitations of caring about what other people think. Because Friday is the only day where you get to see them really savor the fact that you're like, man, I'm fucking tired of being this guy at work, or I'm tired of having to act this way, or ignore these things. Bro, hold on to that. Go to the gym after work, or go to your journal after work, or put some music on and sit down and meditate and like really ponder those things and let your mind unwind into the ideas that are necessary for you to stop being the guy that you don't want to be and start walking into the life of the man that you want to become and have always wanted to become. And Friday is the best time to do that, because Friday is the last time or the last day of the week you experience having to practice being someone you aren't, and then you're going to walk into actually spending time with yourself. And doing that proactively and being productive with your mind and your emotions, journaling, exercising, pushing out raw negative emotions through exerting and with a run, with going to the gym, pushing yourself on your lifts or your stretching routine, or calisthenic skills, whatever it is. Use those emotions, pour into the things you love, and then let the things you love give you so much momentum that they carry you through the week, and it actually protects your identity. Here's one thing that I learned in high school. When you don't give people anything, they will come up with something. What do I mean by that? So, my sophomore year, I started talking to people that I knew were cheerleaders. And I was like, hey, does a cheer team take guys? Is that something that's allowed? It's something that I'm interested in. I want to do it. It's like the closest thing in my mind to gymnastics that I could do. And I've always wanted to do gymnastics. And ultimately, that's probably one of the best decisions I made in my life. Because I just gained a lot of raw strength that a majority of people, even to this day, don't have, because it's different holding. It's one thing to hold like 120-pound dumbbell like this, right? It's another thing to hold a girl just by her heels and she's fucking standing on you. You know how they always say people's dead weight is heavier than them because, you know, like, they're alive, so their nerves and their musculature is holding them up, and they're not just giving you their whole skeleton and their mass. Bro, there are girls that are experienced enough with being held in the air that dude, you feel like the floor. You're like, yo, like, this bitch is standing on me. But ultimately, when she's standing on you like that, you have the most control over her, and you can actually be a good foundation for her to do tricks. So it behooves you to be really strong over some time. So that's what I was going after. I was like, I know there's a specific strength within doing this that I want to try. And I didn't tell anybody else. I told 2 other guys. They were like super alpha twins that I knew in middle school. And I knew because of their acrobatic interest that they would join me as well. So I told them, didn't tell anybody else. Unless someone specifically asked me, are you doing something new next year? I told them. But if they didn't, I wasn't going around school telling people I was going to be a cheerleader next year. No, I just did it. And what ended up happening is, when I didn't give anyone any explanation to why I wanted to participate in that sport, when other guys finally saw me at football games, throwing these girls in the air and doing a bunch of flips, a lot of them were like, damn, bro, I have never done that in my life, and I don't think I ever could. It's like, this guy's doing a round off B twist into a back tuck into another B twist and into like a crazy stance. Like, there's no fucking way, right? So a lot of them immediately were like, this is his thing. He's super acrobatic. He finally found something to be acrobatic in. Other guys that were a little short-sighted were like, he must be gay, right? And then the other ones, what's funny is those guys ultimately got to layer 2, which is like, yo, this guy's doing it because now he's surrounded by girls and he's getting all this experience with girls. Which ultimately, yeah, but that wasn't the main goal. The main goal was to practice my tricks and having a place to do it at school because I didn't really have anywhere to do it at home. So with those like thought processes running around, people came up with excuses for me on why I'm doing something they couldn't explain. The ones that saw my athleticism from freshman year to junior year were like, I know why you do it. Other ones that I was invisible to, and now they were forced to see me because I'm at football games at the bottom of the bleachers, like right by the football team. And like, hey, I know that guy's in my class. Or like, hey, I've seen that guy around in the hallways. They'll come up with an explanation that comforts them about why I'm a cheerleader. And ultimately, it's none of my business to discover what that is. I don't fucking care, because ultimately what I was doing is I was getting like 2 backflips off the floor. I was throwing chicks that were like near 140 pounds into the air, which gave me an explosive kinetic chain that helps me in a bunch of Olympic lifts now. It's insane. So for me, I knew why I was doing something and why I wanted to do it. I wasn't going around school trying to explain to people why there was a switch up from me to sophomore year to junior year. Because if you were looking at me from a 20,000-foot view with that immature mentality, you would see me as a raider, someone doing JROTC, this very like outwardly masculine thing, in the uniform every Wednesday. Sorry, Missy. In the uniform every Wednesday. I'm out there running, carrying sandbags, picking people up, like hopping on a rope and going across a course. You're like, man, that shit's badass. Like, I get it. And then you're like, what the fuck? He's a cheerleader? What the fuck is happening here, right? So I didn't go around explaining to people who knew me from doing Raiders and the JROTC stuff, hey, man, this is why I'm joining the cheer. No, I don't give a fuck about that, dude. I saw the benefits of what would be like the gains that I would get out of being a cheerleader, and I was like, that's what I want. I want more flexibility because I enjoyed being flexible and mobile from when I was doing martial arts, and I know I'm going to get a lot of intentional stretching time in this sport, and it's also going to make me strong and explosive, and that's why I'm going to chase it. As long as you know why you're doing something and you are focusing on executing that, just keeping your head down and chasing after your goal in pivoting from other people's understandings of you, that will protect you from them reacting towards you. Especially if you've already been, if people feel like they already got you figured out and then you start doing things that it's outside of character for them, as long as you delve into chasing what you're going after, you're going to be so far away from them that they're just going to be like, whatever, I guess he's just doing that now. I'm going to leave you alone. And that's what your Friday could be about. Your Friday could be about you finally taking care of yourself, being honest with yourself and what you want to do, and practice that authenticity throughout the weekend. You don't have to be around people that you have to fake being throughout the weekend. And if you do, that is a challenge. And like, I would want you to find time in the weekend to like get away from them, go outside. If you were like me, I'd hop on my longboard, I'd skate a couple miles away, and I would just sit down and like think about my life while listening to music. And I would kind of just run like a recording of what I did that week, what I liked, what I didn't like, what I could do better, how am I feeling. Spend some of that time for yourself. And I bet a lot of that's going to come from or a lot of the variables that affect you are definitely going to be from the outside sources in. And you need to stop letting that happen to yourself. It sucks, dude. I've literally been there. Throughout high school, what I didn't realize is I was also doing things that people who were in my immediate family, they could brag about. I didn't know that I was doing that subconsciously. I was picking things to do that these people could brag about. And that became fucking exhausting, especially when it finally comes to something that you want to do, they don't understand. Because you've always done things in the capacity and limitations that they have for you. You've always existed in the box that they placed you in. But what you're meant for is leagues outside of that box. But then you're going to feel like you belong there. And you don't. You belong out in the roaming free world where you have limitless space, a full bandwidth to take in however much information you want, or the least amount of information you want. And you have all the room to run around and experience things. You need to take the weekends as an opportunity to pull yourself outside of the multiple boxes people have put you in and show them that there's more to you than just the character they've created for you. And if that's not something you know how to do, or you're scared to face, or you want to learn how to structure and escape, I'll have my Instagram in the description. Reach out to me and I'll give you some of the strategies that I used to escape the mental gaze that I was putting on top of myself from other people. Because I learned people actually don't really care or were looking at me. But in my mind, I was surrounding my mind and my emotions with eyes and witnesses that weren't real. Take this weekend to calculate, reflect, and pour into yourself. Energize yourself for the week. Hit Monday like a maelstrom. Murder all the work in front of you. Just go crazy. Dive in because you were so recharged over the weekend. I believe in you. Okay? Boola to you. Because I believe in you, man. And it's Friday. You should be allowed to do what you want on Friday. If you want to stay home and stay up till 2 in the morning playing Destiny because it makes you feel good and you feel energized enough that you know you're going to hit what you need to do tomorrow, being Saturday, even after staying up that late, do it, bro. If it pours into you to help you perform and do better and feel good, do it. But you need to use the feel good to do good. Because if you feel good, you do good. If you do good, you win. That's the chain. You need to do things that make you feel good so that you perform well. Because when you perform well, you win. And when you win, you're him. Boola. I'm trusting you to take care of yourself this weekend. Because I know you can. Ciao.